shit.
What is up?
No.
Did you heard about the teacher that banged the 13-year-old?
Yeah, I
Which
heard all
one?
about that. So she banged it because she was having those parties with all those like 13 and 14-year-old boys over and everything. She'd been carrying on a relationship with this 13-year-old boy for months. She is fucking hot.
They always are.
Right?
And not always. You just only see those.
This one is hot. She's a hot brunette with big boobs, and she's in good shape. She's 24 years old. She's been banging this 13-year-old for like a year. The 13-year-old is a total baller. He kept that shit shut. He was taking her home, introduced her to the parents, made sure that was going to go over smooth. Look at this chick.
Ridiculous.
Well, aside from the fact she's clearly hiding that she's fat.
Well,
she's not actually fat. She's a little bit thick, I will say, because there's a full body pictures of her too.
She's not here. You don't have to say that.
I think she's hot, man. She's doing that duck face thing, but you know, I'm not going to say she's a cool girl. She's just a hot girl. I mean, she's fucking 13-year-old. She's got some problems.
Beautiful face, bro. Amazing.
It's so silly.
No, she's like a little thick, but she's not fat.
I do think that's like
pre-fat.
13-year-olds.
Pre-fat.
Like,
She's pre-fat.
Yeah, she's
So-
pre-fat, definitely. 13-year-olds are horny, but like, that's got to be fucking damaging to you if you're 13 and you have a 24-year-old with a huge power dynamic.
It's only
over you.
damaging if you don't get laid again until you're 21, right?
No,
Like if
no.
you-
I know that's like the popular funny thing, but it is fucked up. It's an adult taking advantage of a child.
Can I just say this real quick?
Yeah.
She apparently, like, he hit her up on Instagram, and she was not responding. She was ignoring him, and then he wasn't showing up to class. So finally she messages him back, and she's like, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. He somehow gets her number. She goes to his house to pick him up for school, is what the news article said.
That happened.
Somehow, in the 5 minutes between picking him up for
Bizarro
school, and I have no idea, but somehow her picking him up turns into them having sex because his parents are gone. Like, I want to be there, not to be weird or creepy. I want to be there during that 5 minutes. Like, what made this situation go so awry that, like, it's like, I'm picking up this kid for school. Oh, we had sex.
I can hardly get that shit to happen with Jackie.
Yeah. Well, who knows? Maybe it was like, oh, you ready for the quiz on states and capitals today? And he's like, fuck, I don't know how to spell Minneapolis. And she's like, that's fine, take your pants off. And then
I'm like, hey, honey, we got 5 minutes. You down right now? No. Oftentimes
I'm
not.
15, so we're gonna have about 4 minutes and 40 seconds to spare. Like,
This is shocking. You know, this woman's a rapist. You know, legally speaking, it seems.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I feel like there's definitely a messed up line of things. Like, something's wrong with her, I would say. But I think that there's a huge difference between, like, if it was a 24-year-old man and a 13-year-old girl, I think the power dynamic is way, like, there's too much of an imbalance there, for sure. But I don't know. Something about, I feel like, I don't know, bro. If I was 13 banging a 24-year-old...
Like maybe the 13-year-old girl really wants some dick.
Yeah,
I think everyone always discounts that no one ever says, like, well, hey, that 13-year-old boy, what does he want more than some pussy? Of course, he's a 13-year-old boy. No one ever says, well, she's a 13-year-old girl. She's cock thirsty. Come on, she's at that age.
Girls develop faster than boys.
I think it's
well,
more
because
about the
nobody wants to
adult
think
man.
about girls like that. Because it's very un-PC to think that. But either way, I do understand what you're saying, PJ, where it's like, it's definitely a grosser feeling when it's like a 25-year-old guy and a 12, 13, 14-year-old girl. That makes you feel viscerally more like, oh, you piece of shit, like you knew what you were doing. But you give women this undue credence of, oh, she must have just, you know, it's so difficult for women to find cock these days, you know? she had to go trolling through her fucking pile of homework. You know, oh, Steve, you know, oh, I'm looking at the bulge in his Oshkosh Bagosh overalls and I'm loving it, you know? Like, no, that's fucking horseshit. You can't excuse these people. She's a rapist just as much as...
Dude, I don't know. I feel like I agree with you, but I also think that in a perfect world, yes. But there's double standards with men.
How would you feel if your 13-year-old son brought home this 24-year-old lady, and you're like, oh, you went to like,
there we go.
Did you go to a state school? Yeah, me and Jackie, we went to this school and that school. Yeah, oh yeah, you went to a state school too. Oh yeah, we went to the same college, me and you. That's cool. Well, this is Billy. He's hoping Little League's gonna go well this year. Yeah, and he's fucking you, I hear. Oh, that's good. That's good.
Dude, apparently the
They're
parents
having
were
like
okay
the meet the parents conversation on
parents were okay with it?
night.
Yes.
Yeah.
They went
Apparently
to
she was,
functions together. Like, it was a
Yeah.
thing. They knew of it.
and he stayed at her house and stuff. This kid had it made, dude.
Got her
I don't know what
pregnant.
happened.
Wait, he got her pregnant?
She had an
Yeah.
abortion. Yeah, she already has one child.
That's her fault, though. She messed up there. Do not get pregnant.
You can't be putting
now
that
you're a rapist.
on a 13-year-old. Like
now you're a rapist.
Got homework to remember. He can't be wrapping it up like 13.
That's your job, 24-year-old lady.
That guy's gonna. That poor 13-year-old's gonna be having that thought every night for the rest of his life, and he's like 27, just sitting there doing his taxes, and then being like, he'd be 14. And then like continuing like that's a damaging thing for a child. It is. That is. That's sincerely damaging. Like that's.
Arc.
If that were my son, like it wouldn't. Like if it were my daughter, I'd be like inexcusable, like eyes red with fury. But if it's your son, it's more like we got to have a talk about this. Hash through this. Make sure you're not gonna, be capturing women on fucking street corners and cutting their faces off in 15 years.
That's such
Jack the Ripper, some sort of sexual Dexter, because your 24-year-old teacher fucked you crazy for like 9 months when you were 13 years old. I don't know. I feel like when I was 13, I'd have been down. I just know I would have been, and it would have been scarring because I feel like I've always kind of been me, and like I feel like I was pretty sexually mature at like 13 or 14. Like I knew what was up. I knew what I wanted. I remember in 5th grade, I wanted to squeeze Miss Harrison's big old titties. I really wanted to squeeze them. They were huge. I wanted to do stuff to them.
We all wanted to squeeze Miss Harrison's titties, Kyle. But what I'm saying is that, like, if Miss Harrison had actually come after class and been like, "Oh, Kyle, can you stay after?" and suddenly it was like a huge power dynamic where you're no longer this suave 13-year-old who just gets pussy whenever he wants. It's walked in and it demands you to lay down.
I'm telling you. I was so down. I would think about it all the time. Like I just wish that my teacher was a pedophile. I would think that. I was like, I wish she wanted to see what was in my pants. She doesn't care. God damn. Her boyfriend would come over. Like her boyfriend would come to school. They'd have lunch, and I'm like,
he's completely not threatened by you.
Yeah, this guy, he's got a car and a job. Like
37-year-old Civil War buff over there, and I'm eating my fucking Rice Krispies. Like, what's he got that I don't have?
Dude, so like non-threatening, and you're just sitting there with the best thoughts ever. That's the greatest thing. That is like
fucking ass.
Oh man.
Yeah, so it's. I definitely see the the hypocrisy of it when we're like, yeah, he scored, but there really is just a difference between men and women, and
it's double standards, dude.
There should be though. There
are like that's real. That's reality.
Because
it's a double standard, but it doesn't. The double standard doesn't have to be, one is good and okay, and one is
there's
really wrong. The double standard, this one's fucked up, and we all understand the reason why this one's more fucked up, and this one's right here still fucked up, but. I'm
not saying that you cannot. I'm not saying that a woman can't rape a young boy. I'm just saying that a hot woman can't rape a young boy.
That's
yes, for sure, definitely 100%. Kyle speaks truth.
It's just the truth. We all know it's true. Like we see those gross women, and they're like, "Oh, I bet she did some weird shit to him anyway. Like she was making him eat out of a dog bowl, probably fucking crazy." But you see this chick, and it's like, nah, this.
I bet it's probably the opposite. Some big sow who's fucking her student is kind of like, oh my god, I'm just so lonely and my cats can't fuck me, and she's getting banged by this kid. Some really hot chick that's been able to do whatever she wants with men her own age, she's going to go in there like the Nutty Professor and have him doing whatever the hell she wants.
Maybe
I'm going to do some anal stuff. You don't know any better. This is what grown-ups do. Join in.
Maybe you should take advantage of his small physique in some way.
It's just that you look at an attractive woman and you think the best intentions, but if she's fucking a 13-year-old, she's clearly a piece of shit.
Something's wrong with her for sure.
She's a pedophile though. That just the act of having sex with the child is enough, right? Like she doesn't have to get all crazy with it, does she? Like I feel like she's just like, yeah, he's 13, this is awesome, and on the other end, he's like, yeah, she's 24, this is awesome.
We also don't know what he looks like, right?
I don't. It's the same kid, actually. It's the same guy in that first picture.
No, it's not.
He's a 8th grader.
Dude, what if he's like one of those built 13-year-olds that's just ridiculous? I don't know.
When I was like this kid, I pictured the guy who banged the counselor when we were 14 years old at baseball camp. I pictured that guy from high school because he was clearly like 3 years physically more mature than everybody else. He was 6 feet tall and like thick chested. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't just some stretched out 6 foot tall guy that hit puberty too quick. Like he was like a man's man, like grown up, and he was really good looking. And it was like,
what
did
Taylor say? Woody's what?
No, I just said, what did he smell like? Because he was going into some
like the leaves in the fall.
Taylor hit puberty early.
I did. I powered through puberty, and it was a shock to everyone, including me. Where like I was, I guess, 12, and like the seeds had been planted. But, you know, I still remember my mom being like, "You're going to really shoot up after this year." And I was like, whatever, Mom. Like, you know, you don't think about puberty until it's hitting you, and then you wake up one day and
that's
it's
not true.
Like, oh. I did. I really did.
I thought about puberty every fucking days for half a decade, waiting for it to hit me.
Okay, if the sapling begins sprouting when you're like 11 and a half, then you don't think about it until it's hitting you, and you're like, Jesus, I got a lot of hair on my dick.
Oh, not me. I'm like, look at that guy. That guy's got hair on both sides above his dick, and I have yet to sprout. Or that lucky son of a bitch has crossed over, right, to the point where he actually has like a grown-up's bush. Meanwhile, I've just got little frillies on the side.
Hang on. Here's a perfect one, a counterexample. There was one guy in my grade who was hairier than me at that age. Well, only one guy. And he got made fun of ruthlessly for it, like all the time, like, you know, you shave, like, because we were only 13, and it was a bit because nobody else did. And when you're on the out, you think it's like at the time, looking back, it's like I should have been like, yeah, I fucking shave. You don't, bitch. Like, but at the time, like, no, they can't know. And like my bush down there was. Like, if it was a competition, I was winning that one. Because we all showered together after gym, so you would see what development was going on. And it got, like, I was trimming at, like, the age of, like, 13, 14. It was just so, I was just like, I'm going to walk in there, and it's just encroaching. Like,
not me.
What describes a phase of puberty that I'm not familiar with? Because I feel like when I got pubic hair, I just got it. It was like one day there wasn't any, and then the next day, like, there's hair every. Like, I got it. It's just like,
no.
He talks about these two little wispy patches.
It was slow to come in. It's like I don't have pubic hair. I have peach fuzz. This is just like I can admit. I think what I have here is pre-hair, and those fuckers have actual hair. It's not fair.
Like a bald, like, man's like side hair on your wiener.
My hair was like you could measure its girth with like the millimeter size of a ruler. like it's just ridiculous.
I don't know, man.
That's funny.
That's ridiculous.
Sex with Taylor comes with a free exfoliating session.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, I think he's in a pumice stone.
He's like a pig. What's the fucking loosh things? What is it? Lava? What is it? Loofah. Yes, he's a big loofah.
Yes.
So I pretty much, I think I had to start shaving when I was in like 7th grade or something. So like 12-ish. So man, yeah, I've had like this little beard thing since I've legit been like 11 or 12, man. Dude, that's the beauty of being Italian Mexican.
I was gonna say it's that Mexican in you. Like all the Mexican kids in our school were grown-ups at like 4th grade.
The Italian that gives it its
both of them really.
It's like a mix of both.
The Mexican definitely gets the hookup as well. Yeah. No, and then us Irish English people hit full bloom at like 26. It's fucking it's the worst.
Oh.
Yeah.
Kylie, somewhere in the middle. You had a pretty normal transition into that.
Yeah.
Adult. You were like 15. What's normal? What is a normal time?
I don't know what's normal anymore because it's different because of I think it's different because of a number of the things that modern humans do to themselves. But yeah, it seems to be getting earlier and earlier and earlier. I remember I was watching Maury one time, and they were talking about like 8-year-olds with their period and crazy shit like that.
Girls, yeah, because if something about like girls, like their body when it hits a certain level of fat content is like, all right, you're a woman now, fucking send it through, and the body doesn't know that the girl is 9. No.
It's like 104 or 110 pounds or something. They hit that and something like that.
So it's these fat little fuckers. Okay.
They could be fat or they could be bigger. But that's about the weight.
Oh yeah, gigantism. That's much more common. That's probably